Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to Touch Gloves Boxing. I go by the name of Biyenge, featuring yours truly, Tre. Listen, guys, remember to like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. When you're ready, Tre. Oh, it's been an interesting weekend.
Woo! Cuz I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm just happy to be back.
Yeah.
I feel like even though it's just been just a month, but yeah, it's good to be back. It's good to be back. I can't lie. It's good to be back, man. How you been?
All good. Can't complain. Can't complain. Just a quick recap. Did you watch the? Well, in fact, you was there. Derek Chisora and Tyson Fury.
Cuz. You know what? Let's just put aside the fight for a second. In terms of the atmosphere, the experience, everyone singing, Sweet Carolina, you've got the fans singing It's Coming Home as well, all that energy. Cuz it was just a good experience overall, just as a boxing fan. Obviously, the fight itself, to me personally, Tyson Fury was a pretty much an easy day in the office for him. But Chisora showed heart, and yeah, man, much credit to both warriors for putting on a show that overall was a great one, man. How about you, man? And how did you sort of
It was
take
pretty
it
much
from
one.
watching it on TV? Like, how was the experience like?
Yeah, love the entrance. My favorite bit was after the fight when Usyk and Joe Joyce.
Yeah,
It kind of reminded me of WWE, like it was a triple threat match. But it's interesting just to see because I like the simple fact that Fury is giving Joe Joyce an opportunity, because he's saying that if him and Usyk doesn't happen, then it will potentially be him and Joe Joyce.
yeah.
But
Exactly.
prior to that, Daniel Dubois' fight, that was interesting, I must say. That was very
Cuz, what do you
interesting.
think? What do you think? Like,
I,
there's
again, I don't know because look, end of the day, look, I'm not a boxer. I can only go by what I can see. A lot of people say, when he's under pressure, he folds. But again, I don't know. I mean, it could just be another bad day in the office. Do you know what I mean? Because remember, everybody going into a fight, they're never 100%. There's always niggle and this and that. A few injuries in during camp, but we shall see. I mean, the fight that I would like to see Daniel Dubois in is him and Dylan White. I mean, he's been calling Shane McGuigan's been calling Dylan White out, so it'll be interesting just to see, make it happen.
You know what? It would be very, very interesting. I would love to see the fight, of course. And look, we need to see the big fights, man. Obviously, we just saw the upcoming heavyweight Anderson. Jared Anderson yesterday came out in the Grinch costume, and he was calling out the boy. He was calling him out, man. So let's get these fights on. 2023. Let's get these major fights on. I'm excited.
That will be interesting, just to think of it, right? We know that the heavyweight division is a madness, and the belts already they're tied up. Usyk's got a majority of the belts, and Fury's got one of the belts, but Daniel Dubois could potentially be another target because he's got the regular. So if somebody beats him, they're pretty much next in line to fight for an actual world title.
Exactly that, cuz I agree with you. Exactly that.
I'm actually surprised that nobody's actually, I'm actually surprised. Apart from nobody here has actually gone, let me fight Daniel. Let me get that belt. And then, I'm next in line for a world title.
You know what, cuz? I 1000% agree with you, man. I definitely feel that, Daniel Dubois is the guy right now. He's holding one of the titles. He's a regular champion. He's a world champion. Let's say he's holding the mandatory title. So, yeah, whoever wants to sort of get in the position where they're fighting either, Fury and Usyk, or Usyk in that case, you got to beat Daniel Dubois, the mandatory. Or you got to beat the Juggernaut. You got to beat him. These are the mandatory guys right now. So they're holding the keys to the title shots of the division.
Yeah. Be interesting, though. Interesting. Yeah.
Cause
No, it'll be
let me just say this as well, man, because now that we've obviously missed a week from podcasting, of course, but we saw an announcement that we've been waiting to see. We saw the press conference, cause Lions in the camp, he's finally got his title shot. Cause what do you think, man? What's your thoughts, man?
You know what? I'm rooting for him. I'm 100% rooting for Anthony Yard. I'm not just saying it because, because I'm from Brit. No, it's the simple fact, like, look, he had an opportunity before, right? Had no experience, right? And he went there. And to be fair, he done all right. Obviously, he lost to experience. But now he's learned from it. And he's bounced back. And he's got an opportunity to unify. Mate, that story itself, it's amazing. Don't get me wrong, it's going to be a tough fight, but he's hungry. Bro, Lions in the camp. Lions in the camp.
Yep.
You have to be hungry. Just look, put this way, look. In the light heavyweight division, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't see anybody other guys getting a title shot. I mean, not obviously they can get a title shot, but Anthony's the only one who stepped up for a world title shot.
100%.
So I gotta give it to him. I mean, like, look, I know a lot of people say, this and that, but bro, like, look, in boxing, your aim is to become a world champion. Maybe not everyone, but the reality is, you go into boxing to become a world champion. That's your dreams, and then I don't know, retire or unify the division or move up. Because he even said, I mean, I think there's a possibility that he could potentially move up to cruiserweight. He could. I'm not saying he will, but it could be a possibility. Because at the moment, cruiserweight, that division, I ain't really hearing much.
Yeah, you've not really hearing much. Obviously, Coley, the Source is obviously the champion. He's holding the title, but he's going through his sort of issues with Matchroom Median. I don't know sort of the depths of that, man. But I'm just hoping 2023 we see the Source back. Maybe unifying the division and collecting the belts and eventually moving up to maybe Bridgerweight or heavyweight eventually, man. So it's going to be an interesting 2023, cuz. And look, it's been good to obviously review just briefly what we missed out in the past few weeks. But cuz we obviously watched it over the weekend, and cuz I can't even lie to you, Bud Crawford, very, very impressive knockout victory over David Avanesian. He successfully defended his WBO welterweight world title at his hometown, of course. So it was good energy, good vibes as well. But cuz the performance, firstly, what would you rate out of 10? The performance?
Yeah. Did you know what? No, I'll give it a 10. Really, my reasons why I give it a 10. He's been inactive for like what? Is it 13 months? Last time he fought was Sean Porter, right? And correct me if I'm wrong in saying David Avanese has been more active than Crawford, right?
Yeah,
but
definitely.
Then it just shows you the levels. Like, no disrespect to David, he's done really well, don't get me wrong. But dude, like, this guy's world class / elite, you know what I'm saying? But then again, Avanese will give people, European people trouble. European levels trouble.
Yeah.
I mean, I will still like to see him and Conor Ben, whenever that happens. But yeah, it will be an interesting fight. Because yesterday I don't know, with David, like his strategy is like he applies pressure. He applies pressure. He reminds me a bit of the Juggernaut.
Yeah,
he just comes
in, but he ain't.
Comes at you. He wants to wear you down. Do you know what I mean? But dude, this is Crawford. Like, don't trade with Crawford. Do you know what I mean? You trade night. I'm not gonna lie. I literally thought, okay, I said already, I know Crawford's gonna win. I thought, okay, probably go on points, be on 1 point. I wasn't expecting that 6-round stoppage. Wow.
It was tremendous. It was absolutely tremendous, cuz, man, and it was very, very impressive as well from Crawford. The way he set up the shots as well. I was listening to Regis Progress, man. Obviously, big up the newly WBC champion, of course, and he was obviously saying that a lot of people in the arena, especially Stevenson, because like David Avanesian, he comes in, He was landing some shots as well. So Stevenson was, in a sense, a bit worried, thinking that, like he's getting caught with a lot of shots, man. But Terence Crawford is a very calculated warrior. He's catching him in the inside, and he caught him with that combination, cuz for the knockout, man. It was just something spectacular. He counted him perfectly, and the timing was just sweet. And the knockout was even sweeter. So obviously, massive shout out to Crawford. Bud has obviously done the job, and cuz I'm not gonna lie, that leads me to obviously my next question, bro. Who is next for Bud? Who is next? A long list, cuz.
It has to be Spence. Look, Bud is a free agent, yeah, and this fight can happen. If anything, I could probably see it happening on Prime.
Yeah, potentially.
Yeah, I can potentially, because like I think they've got the money. They will pay out the money. It has to happen because, like, look, I know Spence might be fighting Keith Thurman. But come on, as boxing fans and the ones who love boxing, do we really want to see that fight? Don't get me wrong, we don't mind, but we want to see a unification. Do you know what I mean? Maybe that fight can happen after unification, but again, correct me again if I'm wrong, but won't Spence saying that, he wants to gradually move up to middleweight?
Yeah, definitely. 154 at middleweight would be the ideal, realistic one. 154.
So let's just make this fight happen. I just want, I want there to be an undisputed welterweight champion, and then after that, vacate the belts. Because we've got upcoming stars. You've got Thingy, and what's his name? Ennins. Is it Ennins?
Yeah, Ennis. Yeah, Boots Ennis. Yeah,
and also Victor Ortiz Jr.
Yeah, it's class. Ortiz, class, absolute class. Those are the two. Basically, Ortiz is mandatory for Crawford's WBO title, and Ennis Boots is actually mandatory for Errol Spence's IBF title. Do you see what I mean? So these kids, they're ready. They're ready.
But that's what I say. That Spence and Crawford might just tell them, like, look, just hold tight. Yeah, pay him a little fee. Let's get this fight, and then we'll challenge or we'll vacate, whatever. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But
in the pipeline, potentially. So the way it looks, and look, for us boxing fans, we want to see Crawford versus Spence Jr. We want to see the truth versus Bud. But, as you know, in business and, negotiations, it's not always the best. But if the fight doesn't happen straight away, as in the next fight afterwards, then I can't lie, cuz I wouldn't mind seeing Bud fight Ortiz, and I wouldn't mind seeing Spence also fighting Keith Thurman. The reason why I wouldn't mind it is because Thurman, I'm not gonna lie, Thurman, like, as much as a lot of people want to talk about, one time, he's not the same person. He's got a loss. It's cool, but when Keith Thurman was champion, Spence was calling him out. Now, tables are turned.
I so it's quite.
Thurman, I understand everyone that Spence has got in the ring with, Thurman's also beating them as well.
But the thing is, look, is Thurman next in line? As in, like, shouldn't it be Ennis? He should be fighting Ennis, and then he can potentially fight Thurman, because Ennis, he's mandatory for one of the belts. So I just, personally, I'm fair. But then again, it's just like, look, Keith one time, yes, Keith one time, as in, like, this was the past one time. Do you know what I mean? Because look when he fought Pacquiao. Yeah. But hey, it is what it is. Don't get me wrong, I'm not disrespecting the guy. He's a good athlete, etc. But I'm just going by what's actually happening. Like, everybody wants to see Bud and Spence. If that doesn't happen, then let them fight their mandatory challenge. But then again, the mandatory challenge, that can cause an upset, a big upset.
You know what? It could definitely happen, and that's why obviously we're calling it a welterweight madness right now, because it's looking like it can be a crazy madness, man. Because look, people could say anything about Keith Thurman, man. Obviously, he's lost that one time, but we want to see if he can lose 2 times. So let's get it on, man. Let's get it on with Spence. If that fight doesn't happen with Crawford, obviously Crawford's the number one, man. But if Crawford doesn't happen, get in there with 1 time, and let's see if Spence can make it 2 time, and move up to bigger and greater things, which is the undisputed fight, man.
Do you reckon Errol Spence and Terence Crawford can make the fight happen here in the UK? You reckon it'll sell?
You know what? It's a tough one, cuz you know why it's a tough one? Because boxing as a whole is growing. Obviously in the UK is great energies, good vibes as always. But we're still in a place right now where not everyone knows who, as big as they are, Spence is and Crawford, even though they're big names. But the casuals here in England, would they want to go and watch that? Potentially, it could happen. But I think that fight needs to be in the Mecca. If it's not in the Mecca in the States, take it to a neutral ground, maybe Saudi Arabia or something like that, and try to make it a global fight. Because on paper, this fight on paper is a global fight, man. This is the next Pacquiao-Mayweather fight. Spence Jr. versus Crawford. This is the next one up. But from a commercial standpoint, they both don't do, obviously, numbers like Mayweather and Pacquiao commercially. But in terms of IQ, resume, and what they've achieved, you can argue that, their achievements in the ring is far greater than, the legends of the past, man. So let's see if they can make this fight. I hope they can make this fight, because that would be absolutely tremendous if that fight happens, man.
If it doesn't happen next, I reckon it'll probably happen summertime or end of 2023. That's just my opinion. Yeah, we'll see. I just don't want an upset. I just want them to fight each other.
Yeah, I just want to see them fight each other as well, man. It's that time. It needs to happen, and I'm excited, man. And look, we got Boots Ennis is obviously going to be fighting in the undercard for Tank's fight against Garcia, which is obviously going to be a big fight. Not Ryan Garcia for those that Garcia is a credible opponent. He's obviously moving up to the division, man, but it's going to be a tough challenge for him. It's going to be a very, very tough challenge for Garcia, because I think Tank's ready. He's hungry, and he is not overlooking him, but he's focused on the challenge ahead and wants to get it done very, very quickly, I reckon. So we're going to see a strong Tank, do a job, man. So look, I'm excited, man. We've got a few people even coming up for that as well. Andrade is also back as well. I'm looking forward to seeing him. Boo Andrade. I'm looking forward to him seeing him back as well. So we got a few.
I think he's coming back. Adrian Broner.
Woo!
AB. AB's back, yeah.
AB's back. Who's he fighting? Who's he going to come back to fight?
I have no clue. I've forgotten his name. Yeah, so he's coming back, because I think he's signed to what they're called, Black Prime.
Oh, okay. Oh, same promotional company as Terence Crawford.
Yeah, but I think with Terence Crawford, I think that was just a one deal. So I don't know if it's an ongoing process. I don't know, but he's done numbers.
He's a free agent, isn't it? He's a free agent, of course.
Sold out arena.
Yeah, he sold out his whole time.
Got paid 10 million. Can't go wrong with that, mate. Can't go wrong with that.
Balling.
Yeah.
Balling.
Yeah.
Pay-per-view, that's massive. Absolutely massive, man. That's absolutely massive. Boy, boxing right now is really, really, really excited. Just a quick one. We're just touching on it. And anyway, Warrington, obviously.
Wow. Do you know what? I don't know. I mean, what do you think? Do you think it was a robbery, or do you think it was a draw, or did Lopez deserve the win?
You know what? we talk about this a lot in terms of people coming over to the UK and getting decisions. This time round, I think it was a good call, man. I genuinely think it was a good call. It was quite competitive to fight, very, very competitive. And you can argue it could have went both ways, man. But yeah, they should run it back in 2023, rematch, make it happen again.
I doubt it. There was word that, well, I don't know. Did he have a rematch clause?
I have no idea, because
I think they're now talking about he might be fighting. Is it Lee Wood?
Oh, swear.
Yeah, that could. I mean, that fight was supposed to happen if he was still champion for the belt, but I don't know. I mean, Warrington, boy, he's got he's got Lee Wood. He's got the other guy who beat him. I've got his name, and the guy who's just taking his belt. Bloody hell, mate! This is just madness.
Yeah, man. It's maybe would you put it down to because it's a home fight, man, and all the pressure and stuff like that. I don't know. Look, they're professional athletes.
Yeah, there you go, man. I mean, look, I know everybody has a bad day in the office. People have butterflies, this and that, but dude, from when you're a champ and you're defending your belt, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you're always going to win, but it was a tough call. I mean, I didn't watch the fight. I just watched the highlights, and what I saw was that it was pretty tight, but I think he had headbutt, or it was a head clash. And then I think the guy just, I wouldn't say outboxed him, but I think the guy landed more punches. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, would he want to run it back then? Hey, I don't know. But he's done well, He's 2 times world champion, so good on his resume. And at least he's fought good people, decent people.
Yeah.
So
he's got a very good
resume. Can't go wrong with that. Keep your head up, man. Yeah, man. So yeah, I don't know. Boxing. We just don't know what's happening. I mean, I'm still waiting to see who AJ is going to fight next. Eddie Hearn said it in the meeting and showed an interview. He said March. I've said this before. People may disagree, but I really do think he should fight Jerome Miller. They should run it back at Madison Square Garden. But that's my personal opinion.
Yeah, because
he's apparently, I don't know how true it is. He's training with what's his name? Hunter. What's his name? Thingy's old coach. Sorry, Boachi's coach.
Oh, Virgil Hunter.
Yeah.
No way. What, Andre Ward's ex-coach?
Yeah.
Woo! Yeah. But I know what is that? You can't really get excited, man. You can't really. You can't,
because the thing is, it's look, me per se, I reckon they should have stuck with Garcia. Because on the Usyk second fight, we saw something different. Yeah, he was applying more pressure on the body and whatnot. And he was more aggressive. But I don't know, because at this stage now of your career, you're a former world champion, former 2-time champion, and it's just like you're jumping from coaches to coaches, and they say it usually takes 3 or 5 fights for you to actually blend in with your coach and get along. I don't know, man. So I'm just thinking like, so I mean, if he's working with Virgil Hunter, is it going to be him and the other guy on the corner, or is it just going to be Virgil Hunter? How's it going to work?
Because that's the thing that I don't understand.
I personally, I think his style, I think it's really thingy. What's his name? Fury's coach.
Sugar Hill.
I've forgotten his name now.
Sugar Hill, Hill.
Knockout artist. Yeah. Knockout artist. That's that. You need someone like that. You need somebody like that. But then again, look, everything comes down to a minute, But it'll be interesting just to see.
Lennox Lewis does.
It'll be
interesting.
Maybe
Lennox Lewis. Lennox Lewis.
But he's not a coach. I suppose he can help him in some way, like how to bounce back. But it is, man. When you're a boxer, there's egos involved, etc. And you don't want to listen or blah blah blah. But I just, like I said, look, we as fans, we want to see the best AJ fight the best Fury. Do you know what I mean? We want to see both of them at their best. AJ coming back, he needs at least 2 fights, 2 knockouts or one or whatever, but 2 good performances. You know, if he's struggling with the next 2 performances, like, yo, my G, like, you sure you want to do this? You know, so it'll be interesting just to see, like, you know, he could be fighting Otto Wallen, you know, but me per se, like I said, Jerome Miller or Triple D, just putting it out there.
Yeah, because
you know,
I agree with you. I agree with you. I think Miller's a good fight for him, man.
Jerome Miller or Triple D. They're talking about the Wilder fight apparently happening in 2023, but dude, like, that confuses me as well. It's like, are you going to get the belts back, or are you going to fight Wilder? I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Wilder, the only way to beat Wilder is to apply pressure on him, like Fury done, because you can't find the back foot. But if you trade with him, my God,
Lights out, baby. Lights out, baby. You see what happened to Ebanie yesterday? It'll be even more devastating if you do that with Wilder. Like, trade with Wilder.
Yeah.
It's mad. It's absolutely a madness, man.
It's interesting. It's interesting. But then something tells me, could be wrong, he might even fight. Do you know who he might potentially fight next?
Who?
Herkovich.
Ooh, okay.
He can fight Herkovich, and say he beats Herkovich, then he's next in line for the mandatory, because obviously at the moment Herkovich is mandatory, isn't it?
What's he mandatory for? Herkovich?
I think it's the IBF, either IBF or W. No, IBF. Yeah, I think it's IBF. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It makes sense. It does make sense for him to get back into the title hunt. Yeah, it does make sense.
Like I said, you need at least 2 fights. Just I don't know. I'm just saying it from a fan's point of view. But if you know yourself and you're ready, you know, you just knock out somebody, then yeah, go for it. But or he might even fight Charles Martin again. I don't know.
No, man. Don't bring Charles Martin again. You're messing with God.
Yeah. Well, do you know what? No, it's funny to say that. Yeah, it could even be Luis Ortiz.
Yeah, you know what? I would like to see Ortiz fight AJ, but I just, you know, when you just feel it's a little bit too late for him, man. Ortiz.
I want Ortiz to fight Triple D.
Oh, Triple D. Yeah. That would be That would be a good test for Triple D.
Or Ortiz and Derek Chisora. Yeah, they both like war.
Yeah.
You know,
both like war, both, you know, coming up to the end of their careers potentially. So I think, yeah, it would be a good fight in the States.
Why do you say that? Yeah, but what is next for Del Boy? I mean, like, look, the way I see it, would Dylan really want to challenge him for the trilogy? I mean, you know.
Nah, I don't think so, man.
Do we fans want to see it again? I don't know. I'm not saying, you know, I'm not writing it off, but I'm just thinking to myself, like, what is next? The only fight I can see Del Boy fighting is only 2 people. War. Not War, sorry. It's a War, you know. What's his name? Ortiz or David Miller.
That's it. Yeah.
Those are the
I
only 2.
I can't lie. I want to see Miller and AJ, man. That's the fight I want to see, man. Yeah, I want to see.
I don't think I don't think Eddie Hearn wants to work with Miller because obviously what he's done in the past. But you know, look, the man's done what he's done, yeah. And you know, like, look, do you know what I mean? It's done now. But well, if there's an opportunity there and he's willing to look back, make it happen, and I believe that will be scuffers, like proper, yeah. What I'm saying, proper scuffers, proper. Yeah.
It would be mad, cuz I think that fight would be potentially a madness. It would be a madness, man. I would love it.
That's what you need, because like I said, look, from a former world champion, yeah, and you know, you're still in your prime, I believe so. You don't want to, obviously you're there to fight, but the one of the biggest risks is that you're fighting the top 10 or top 15, whatever, yeah. We don't know who the top 10 or top 15 is. If they were to do something to you, bro.
Just
It's just
no,
over. It's
just
over. You know, it's over. So we're just trying to get to that. Fury and AJ is a big fight. It's a big UK fight.
massive
Fury
fight.
Wilder is a massive fight as well.
Yeah.
So potentially he should really be working on fighting them two. Like, do you know what I'm saying? And then it's up to him if he wants to continue or retire, you know. So yeah.
100% agree with you, Cuz, man. 100% agree with you, man. Obviously, Cuz, man, we're coming up to the end of the show, of course, man. And what we like to do before we end the show is, was there anything that you saw like online, you know, maybe in news that you thought, you know what, this is something that we could obviously bring up during the pod?
Well, I'm saying that Canelo might fight Ryder, and that fight will most probably take place here in the UK.
Okay.
But then again, I don't know, because somebody's saying maybe Ryder might want to fight Canelo in the States because he'll build up his profile. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know? So I don't know, but
if you were Ryder's manager, Cuz, what are you taking? America or UK?
I would say UK, because it will be big, because you're bringing a big star here, and it could potentially do Wembley Arena. Let's be real, because it's Canelo, and it's a huge payday for you.
Yep.
You know, that's how I see it. But then again, he can cause an upset. So do you know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. Never know.
Beat him, and you're the undisputed, super weight champion. So it's mad. It's mad. We just don't know. When it comes to boxing, look, nobody knows. End of the day, someone can have a good resume, this and that, undefeated or lost once, twice, whatever. I don't mean nothing no more. I know Floyd came and messed the game up, but hey, that's Floyd. Nobody's Floyd. We ain't gonna get another Floyd.
Yeah, Floyd, man. A lot of people we just need to realize that Floyd is just a man of his own, man. Just on a whole different scale right now, man. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, we can't really copy Floyd right now, man. But what we can do is fighters can create their own legacies by making these big fights, man. Because as great as Floyd is, man, and I absolutely love him. He's my guy, of course. He didn't do undisputed. Do you know what I mean? He didn't, but he fought the champions, of course. He fought the best of the best. But we just need to see more undisputed, to the point where we can look at every division, undisputed champion, undisputed champion, undisputed champion, undisputed champion. So there's one champion, one face, one name in every division, man. So we know who's the best in that division.
Yeah.
That's why confidence Spence needs to happen, man. It needs to happen, 1,000%.
Yeah, no, 100%. No, I totally agree with you on that one there. Like, no, 100%.
Yeah,
it will happen. It will happen.
Definitely, man. But cuz obviously we're coming up to the end of the show, of course. We just obviously wanted to thank whoever's viewing, of course. We're happy to be back, of course. And the plan always is to constantly bring you content, give you access into the boxing world, of course, but then at the same time, give our community a voice so that we can get your message out there, hopefully to the right people, man. But cuz, as always, God bless. How are you gonna end this pod, man? Like we've been away for a minute, so I need some energy this time around, man.
Yeah, well, World Cup's on. Unfortunately, we're home now. So no, but just have a productive week. Remember, we're here every Sundays at 7:30. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and just tune in next week. I go by the name of Biyenge, featuring yours truly, Tre, and we're out.
We're out. Love.